Right guys, welcome to my first ever tutorial video. Today we're going to turn this nice clear base from a Dark Elder Raider into something like this. Or even this one. So, what you're going to need, a base. You're going to need some of these little stones. Now you can pick pebbles up from neighbour's garden, water park or something. I got these decorative stones from Home Bargains, or B&M rather, for 99p, and they're in a nice slate colour, and to be honest they work quite well as they are. Or you can spray them and add stuff on. You're going to need PVA glue. Asda, £1.50, pound shop for wood glue, quite cheap. You're also going to need some sharp sand. Now I got that from a builder's merchant for a giant bag for about £1.20. Put some of it in a tub, dry it out on a radiator because you can guarantee it's been left outside and it's going to be really damp. It's not what you want. The joy of sharp sand is you get a lot of quite big gritty bits, as you can see there, but then quite a few fine bits as well. You're going to need an old brush. Yeah, you can see that one's knackered anyway. Some super glue, and then you're going to need some paints. You're going to need some black. I cheat a little bit though, I spray it, and we'll get to that point, but you can use a brush. You're going to need some grey. The grey I use is this one from Liquitex. It's available in Hobbycraft. It's about £3, but it's a massive tub. The white that I'm going to use is from Home Bargains. No, it's from B&M. £1.50 for a giant tub of that. They do some different colours as well. It's quite handy for terrain and stuff as well. So, to get started, you don't just want plain sand on your base. You want a few rocks and stuff. So, let's just add a couple of drops of super glue here. In fact, let me change the camera. There we go. So let's just add a couple of drops of super glue. Put 2 or 3 there. And we'll do one in the middle somewhere there. And then just stick your rocks as you see fit. Doesn't have to be neat, literally just put them anywhere around that you want. And there you go, that's the start. So I'll come back to you in about a minute or so when that has dried. Right guys, welcome back. So the next stage is PVA. So, I'm just going to be literally just put some PVA glue down like this. Doesn't matter if you get it on the tops of the rocks because it just all adds to the effect. And there we go. Just cover the bits and pieces up like that. And then what you want to do, spread it out nice and thick, not massively thick, which I think I probably ended up doing, but enough to get really good layer. On all the sides. Really push it out. There we go. Now the next thing to do is, like I said, I'll put my sand in a tub like this just to keep it handy on my desk rather than keeping a massive bag nearby. Literally, dig it in, and then just tap it off. There you go. As you can see, some of the bigger, thicker, grittier bits have stuck down there as well. So that's that. I can't show you anything else tonight, unfortunately, so I will come back to you tomorrow when that is dry. Right, so this is the next stage. Obviously 24 hours later, we're fully dry. And I'm going to use this black spray paint that I got from the pound shop for £1, strangely enough. So here, I don't want to paint the stem black. Now it's already glued in place, so what I do is use a piece of straw. It just fits nicely straight over the top. So let's give this some spray. There we go. So we'll come back after I've sprayed that. Right, so as you can see, or maybe not because of the light, I've sprayed the base. It's now dry. So the next stage is to go on with the grey. Bear in mind, although I'm using this, you can use Games Workshop's own paints. I think Codex Grey is probably about the right shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush this. If you've never done dry brushing before, load your brush up. And get the focus there with paint. Now obviously if you paint that straight on, it's going to go in all the gaps and cracks which you don't want. So what you do is you literally wipe most of it off until it looks dry. And then we'll quickly just go over the raised areas like that. Now, you do want enough paint on this layer to highlight a lot of it up. You want quite a heavy dry brush so that it covers the majority of the black, but so that it's still reasonably dark, but enough to have a good highlight on it. There we go. And then even on the stones and rocks that I've done there as well. And you're just accenting all of the rocks whilst leaving all the crevices black. Don't be afraid to put more on than what you might think, just as long as you're not too generous. You can't really go too wrong at all. I mean, obviously if you do it little by little, you can build up the layers, and it's your first time till you get used to the amounts that you're doing. Let's have a look. So that's about the majority of it done round. I mean, parts of it will still loosen up a little bit as you go around, but don't worry about it. So let's just try and get the focus. There we go. As you can see, a lot of the grey bits just highlighted up nicely. So give it a few minutes and we'll come back to you with the next stage. Right guys, so welcome back. We're now going to highlight up with the white. We're going to use exactly the same technique, but this time you do want to be a little bit lighter than the grey because you still want most of the grey to show through, but just the very edges and the tips of the rock and the tops of the sand just to be highlighted up there. So just nice and light. And again, that is just to pick out the very, very tips. Let's get a bit more white. And there we go, it's as quick as that. Now, obviously this looks okay. Let's pop the straw off. There we go. So obviously that looks all right. Very, very quick. It took me about 30 seconds to paint it up once it's been sprayed. But what we want to do is make it more like this. Let's go dead Necron on. That one is guitar strings. Now I know there's blood on there. Necrons don't have blood, I know, but dark Eldar. Bits of grass in there. A little bit of lichen or lichen, however you want to pronounce it. Again with this one, so I got some red lichen, some static grass on there as well. This one, these are just little red decorative crystals that I got from Home Bargains. They're in like the, I think they were like in like the home decoration accessory section, and I thought they were quite cool. So I thought, yeah, why not? This one. Now this one is a resin base. I didn't make these details that you see here. It was bought as a resin base because I actually ran out of flying bases. So I did get this one off eBay. But on this one again, I've added the crystals, the static grass, and a termagant. And just basically put lots and lots of blood for the blood god on there. Just to show you what's going on with that. So basically, what we now need to do is put the finishing touches on the base. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff there that I've showed you that we can do. I've got a number of things. Now, I don't actually have them out at the moment, so give me 2 minutes to get them out. Right, so here we go. There's a number of things that you can do, like I said. Lichen is one of them. I've got a small piece of white lichen here. I might put some on. I've got some of this. This is Blended Turf by Woodland Scenics. There we go, Blended Turf by Woodland Scenics. I got mine in Hobbycraft. I think it cost us about £7. But it's a massive, massive bag. What I do is I'll put it in the tubs and do a similar thing to what I did with the sand. What I found though is if you use PVA glue to do this, it doesn't, the PVA glue is too wet as such. It doesn't really give a good enough or fast enough grip to be able to do it. So I actually use super glue. I do use more watery type of super glue rather than the incredibly thick viscous one. So what we want to do with the turf, I'm probably going to keep the turf to sort of the outside edge around here, and maybe do some more grass in the middle with the lichen poking about. So we'll have to do this in stages, but the first stage, basically I'm going to put some turf just along this edge here, just dab the super glue about. And what I try to do is where the sand isn't quite as raised or bumpy, is put it in that area so the bigger stones are kind of poking through the turf. And then literally dip it in and give it a shake. Give it a good tap. And there we go. Do that a couple of times around the edges. So we'll do that now. Just in areas where you think it's going to be a little bit flatter maybe. So there. And then maybe there. And then again, literally dip it in. And then give it a good tap. And there we go. So straight away, that's added some nice turf onto it. The next thing I like to add is static grass. I use this Army Painter one. It is very static and it does get stuck everywhere. But what I find is to do a similar technique as to what we've just done with the flock there. Apart from when you're applying it, it's better to kind of throw it on. So here we'll put some, because this kind of stands on end, I find this better applied to sort of the edges of the rocks, and it's like it's climbing up the side sort of thing. And we'll put a little bit in there. And what I find is it's better to apply it kind of like that, literally in a huge lump. Give it a little bit of a tap on. Where else did I put it? Put some there. And there. And literally tap it off. Now this will get most of it off, but not all of it. So it's best to just give it a very quick blow. And there we go. You can see here, or maybe not, just the difference in the grass there between the flock and how the grass kind of stands up on end. And there you go. At this point, I'm then going to put the lichen on, or lichen. Personally, I think that bit might be a bit big because this one has, the focus is more on the rocks and the grass. So I'm thinking maybe just a small piece, about that size. And we'll stick that in there. And again, I tend to use super glue. It's quick, it's easy, and it sticks. And just put a little dab on the top there, just to hold it in place. And that is pretty much it. Let me grab the radar. And there we go. One flying base. And now I've done exactly the same with all of my 28mm bases for the rest of the Dark Eldar as well. It's about finding what you like that goes. I mean, obviously I put white lichen on there. I've got some red as well. And like I said, we've got the little crystally bits on there as well. The grey is kind of what I do go for with my Eldar and my Dark Eldar. But yeah, if you've liked the tutorial, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of it. And if you like it, hopefully I'll do a few more. So yeah, thanks very much, guys.